Hi everybody, so here we are back again with another review. This is going to be on the Kylin M RTA. This is a mesh RTA with top airflow. It does have a similar build deck to the Profile RTA. It's very similar. I guess it was inspired by the Profile RTA. I'm really not sure, but it is a very similar build deck. There are a few changes to it though, so I'm going to show you that down below. So let's go ahead and go down and take a look at the Kylin M RTA by Vandy Vape. Okay, so here we are with the Kylin M RTA. This is the sample packaging, so there's nothing really on it. Right now, I've found it in stainless steel and matte black. I haven't, or seen it in stainless steel and matte black. I haven't seen it in any other colors for now. Inside the package, you're going to get the RTA. You're going to get some extra goodies here. Inside the bag, you're going to get this stick here. This is to help you round your mesh coil. You're also going to be getting your Barbie screwdriver. You're going to get some extra springs in the bag, as you can see. The 510 drip tip adapter. There's your extra screws. So you get O-rings and all that good stuff right there. I'm only going to keep out the strip right now. You're also going to be getting 2 sets of coils. These are the mesh coils that come with it. You're also going to get a bubble glass, which we will be switching it out. With the straight glass that's included, it holds 3 mils of e-liquid. With the bubble glass, it holds 4.5, so you know we're going to do that. And then, of course, the RTA. And then underneath the package, because, again, this is sample packaging. You're not going to get any manuals or anything like that. You will get some cotton. Now, it does come with these Vandy Vape cotton laces, 2 pieces of it. They will be selling them separately also. These are 10 packs that they're going to have them for you. You can actually purchase these separately. But it does come with 2, so we'll go ahead and use the 2. Or 1, really. We'll use 1 of them. So I'll go ahead and take that out and then just put this aside. Now, as I was saying, we do have 2 different types of mesh strips here. You've actually got this one, which is made of Kanthal. It is a 0.15 resistance, and it is good between 50 and 70 watts, and I'll show you that and open it in a second. And then the other one is the 0.2 ohm Kanthal coil, and this one is actually good between 40 and 60 watts. The funny thing is that this one is similar to the Watofa one, and this one is similar to the off coil, so that's kind of funny. I kind of like that. Okay, so again, this is a mesh RTA. This is the Kylin M. Sorry, it's a little bit foggy. I did clean it out. It does come with an 810 drip tip, so you can remove the drip tip and use any 810 of your liking. It does have top juice fill. All you do is just screw off the top like this, and the holes are actually huge. And if you notice, it's got like this little cup thing there. This little cup area right here, no matter where you put your e-liquid, it actually will go down into the e-liquid channel, which I think is really nice, because one time I was kind of dark and I couldn't see. I was actually pouring my e-liquid right here, and it did go into the right hole. So I do like that. Plus, you can bring up your e-liquid just a little bit, so it matches right up here, and it's not going to give you any problem because you've got all this room to the cap. So I think that's really nice. Also, you can take off this airflow ring. Again, it is top airflow, and it is honeycomb airflow. I absolutely love honeycomb airflow. I feel like it gives it really smooth flavor. And if you notice, these airflows are actually slanted down. So your airflow is literally going to be going down and up. So I do love the slant of those airflows. And then all you do to put this back after you've cleaned it or whatnot is just push it down like this and then put your top back on. Really easy. On the bottom, this is a 24 millimeter RTA. It does say Kylin M here, and then of course it's got signature right there, and of course designed by Vandy Vape. I absolutely love these knurlings here, because the knurling is really makes it grip easy. Now, one thing I want to tell you is with the straight glass, it kind of like feels like it's really narrow where the glass is, and it bulges out where the top and bottom are. But it doesn't do that with the bubble glass. So I did want to mention that. And then you take off the base like this. Inside, it's super domed. This is so well machined. I really like it. And then you can go ahead and remove your glass just like this. I was hoping not to remove it too much. And then put on your bubble glass. Again, it's got droplets because I did have to wash this out. I only received 1 and I was trying it out for a while. So I do apologize for that, but look at it with the bubble glass. I think it looks super sexy with the bubble glass. So in here, I did want to show you, right here is where your juice flow is coming in. So your juice is going to come in from the deck from right here. Right there is actually your airflow. So your airflow is hitting both sides of that coil, which I really like. It's nice and close. And then of course you've got the deck. Now this is a profile inspired deck in my opinion. It's already been done once. It's just got some changes to it. But it is, in my opinion, a profile styled or profile type of deck. If you notice, it does have the spring-loaded plate, very much like the Profile RTA. It's got your wicking channels right here. The difference in the wicking, though, is that it's actually a lot more space. You can fit a lot more cotton in these than you can on the other one. So I did want to mention that. In addition to that, you've got 2 Phillips head screws, 1 on each side. But when you unscrew them, let me zoom in. When you unscrew them, it's actually spring loaded. This right here is a spring. So the same spring that is actually in here that you can replace, it's also the same spring that's been used on both of these openings, which I really, really like. So there's your Phillips head, and then all you do is you just pull it out like this, and it literally opens up by itself. So I think that that is absolutely awesome. So let's go ahead and build on this so that I can show it to you more. Of course, your juice flow is going in right there. This also does have a spinning deck. So the deck itself does spin too, just in case you want to know that. I did want to let you know. And then let's go ahead and look at the coils that we're going to use. So again, this is the 0.2 ohm, and then this is the 0.15. These look like they're like memory cards. That's what it looks like it holds. So, and those cards always drove me crazy trying to open them. So there you go. You actually get 2 strips of the 0.15, just like that. And then you're going to get 2 strips of the 0.2 ohm right there. And if you notice, these right here have a lot smaller holes than these right here, which is just like with the Wotofo, they were kind of bigger like this, and then on the off they were smaller like this. So very, very similar. I'm not going to hold them up, but I'm going to tell you right now that the coils are super, super similar to them. I have tried it with the off coils and it works just fine. So either way that you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this coil here and then close that up. Make sure I don't smush it. And then close these up. So this is going to be the 0.15 Kanthal coil. Now again, this does come with this little stick right here for you to round your coil. So you're going to do just like you did on the other one. The other RTA or RDA, whichever one you want to do, all you need to do is just put it right on top of it like this and then just smush it around. And I always twist it just a little bit and it's absolutely perfect. Grab it, do not squeeze it. Lays right there for you. Oops, sorry. Totally out of focus. And no matter where you put it, being that these clamps are actually have an opening and closing, it's going to fit in there. It's not going to wobble. You don't have to hold it in place in the sense of like making sure it doesn't move left or right. All you need to do is just put your finger on the side like this just to hold it in and then clamp it down. I never put my finger right on top of it because you can misshapen the coil itself because it is mesh and very, very thin and flimsy. And then just go ahead and tighten that down and you've got the perfect coil right there. So yeah, so look how easy that was. I do make sure that these are nice and tight. And then that's it. Let's go ahead and turn this down. And I always do heat up the coil just to make sure that there are no schmutzes on it or any type of debris or anything like that. So I do heat it up to about 5 watts just to make sure that it's heating up correctly and evenly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try that. Lightly pulse it. I'm actually going to turn it up just a little bit. There we go. So just making sure that it's heating up evenly. So now once that's been done and your coil has actually been able to cool down, you can pick up your shoestring cotton. These again are provided. There are 2 provided, but you can purchase them separately. I will not lie to you though. I will tell you that I've actually been rocking this with my Firebolt cotton. This is a cotton that I actually ordered for myself to try and I absolutely love it. I did use 3 of the shoestring cottons to actually wick it and it was wicking absolutely beautifully. I really liked it. I didn't feel like it was too much cotton. I've also tried it with a cotton square and that has worked as well. And I did like this roll and it worked really, really well too. I was very happy with that one. So let's go ahead and do this. Sometimes I like to use those other wicking methods because this just feels like a lot of cotton for me. But we do want to make sure that that is being held down. And then just pull it through. the end is going to come off eventually. What you can do to make it pull through just a little bit easier is hold the other end when you're pulling it through, and it does make it where it's not forcing it on the coil and not bending your coil. That's really, really important. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this right here, right to the base. Right to the base. There we go. You see how thick it is? That's why I like to use the other methods. Ooh, put that right in the RTA. And I'm going to do the same thing on over here. And now what I am going to do, which I did not do with the profile because it had to be wicked a certain way, is that I do thin this out. No matter which cotton I'm using, whether I use the Firebolt cotton or I use the cotton squares. Well, the cotton squares, when I'm doing the Swedish roll, there's really nothing to really comb out, but I do not want this thick, being that it's actually going to be breathing on the inside and these are really compact. I do like to thin it out some. So I'm going to thin that out because I just feel like it's a little bit too much. This is top airflow, so of course you're not going to get any leaking anyways, but I don't want to take from the middle. You definitely do not want to thin it from the center because it does have to have that pressure on that clamp. So you can't thin it out from that part, but you can thin it out on the ends. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just recut it right there. And then when you're putting it in, put it in from the bottom first. Don't put it in from the top where you shove it in and stuff like that. You want to put it in from the bottom first. If you curl it in like that, it actually goes in really, really easy, just like that. And that way it's not too thick. But you see how what I mean? It's still too thick. This kind of cotton, I'm just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of wicking the mesh with this kind of cotton. So that's just my opinion. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do it the way that I like it. Personally, I just don't like that cotton. It's just too thick. And I feel that way about all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go ahead and take my 3 pieces of cotton. And we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you what I do with the Firebolt. And it comes out absolutely perfectly every time. Just like this. And I'm just going to hold them together and then just put that in there. Right where the plate is. And just slide them through. And to me, you see how easy they go? Easy this goes through. I really do. I don't feel like it's forcing it or anything like that. And that's why I really like to use this cotton a little bit better. It doesn't feel like it's over thick. And then you just go ahead and trim it. So I'm going to trim it right there. Save those pieces. I love how long they are. I actually get to use my cotton strips a few times. And then now I'm just going to thin it out just a little bit, but not too much. Right on the ends. I'm just literally, this is kind of fluffy cotton. You really don't have to do too much. I'm going to cut it right at the end right here. And watch this. Watch how much easier it goes in. That's it. That's all you need. Put that there. Now, you see how easy that fits? I just feel like the cotton that comes with it has way too much cotton for this particular build deck. I just feel like it's just too much. But this is exactly perfect. I'm so glad that I ordered this cotton to try it because it came in handy, especially when I got this RTA. And then I'm just going to cut it again right at the deck like that. And then no matter which cotton you use, whether it be the square or whatever, just fold it in and then you'll see it poking right out the juice flow right there. Right out the juice flow right there. And look at how nice that is. It's not overly packed, but you still have it thick enough to where it's going to hold down the ceramic plate. So I think that's absolutely perfect. I'm going to use the same juice that I've been using for the whole time that I've been trying this out. And that's going to be this 314 Key Lime Pie. This is actually from North Shore Vapor. Absolutely amazing. If you like Key Lime Pie, you're going to love this stuff. It is just, oh, to die for. Okay. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit because 15 watts is not going to do it for me. Turn it up to 45. Just go ahead and put some on the coil there. Go. Just pulsing it. I want to make sure that the cotton in that coil is actually getting saturated before the cotton on the outside, because that's going to keep you from getting any type of dry hits. You definitely want the cotton that is under and touching that coil to be nice and saturated. So if you notice, it's really nice and saturated right there. I just have this wispy over here. It's driving me crazy. Just need to get that wispy in there. Sorry, OCD. Those of you that know me know that I get that way. Yeah, and that's it. Now here's the greatest part about this this RTA, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say which one's better or worse, but I do like the fact that it does hold a lot less cotton. It doesn't feel like it's too stuffed in there. And then watch this. Without taking it off my mod, I can go ahead and screw the tank right on there. There we go. I don't have to take it off. That to me is really a big pro right there. That and the fact that it does have the top airflow, so I don't have to worry about any type of leaking, because it does have that top airflow, which is really, really nice and smooth. So let's go ahead and fill this baby up. So I'm gonna just fill that up. Again, it holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid with this bubble glass, which is gonna help me out a lot since I've been trying it out with that 3 mil for so long, and it's been driving me crazy. But look, you see, I filled it right up to the rim. Can you see that? Let me zoom in for you. Right to the rim. No problem. And even if you go on the wrong area, it takes it right where it needs to go. So I really love this top fill. I really do. And then just screw that down. And yeah, we're ready to rock. So let's go ahead and go on top and take a look at the Kylin M RTA by Vandy Vape. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Kylin M RTA. And before anything, I'm going to go ahead and have a vape, and then we'll talk more about it. Okay, so a couple things about it. I'm going to go over my cons, and then I'll go over my pros, because there's a little bit less cons than there are pros. A subjective con, which is not for me, but it is for those of you out there, about the mesh type not heating up too much. This is still the same way. I feel like it gets just a touch warmer than the other RTA, the other mesh RTA, the profile one, or the profile Unity RTA, but it's still on that cool side. So if you're not into that cool type of vape, you might not be interested in this. Another thing that is a con for me is that on these coil packs, it's telling you not to go over 45 watts or you're going to get a dry hit. But they're actually suggested to be coils that range between 50 and 70, or in the other case, 40 and 60. So it doesn't really make sense that they would put a warning that says dry hits after 45 watts. If it's registering, you know, you can use it between that range. So that to me is a little bit of a con. I think on the packaging that they shouldn't have done that. Another thing is, for me, is going to be that the cotton, I'm not a, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm just so tired of the really, really thick cotton. Even in my profile Unity, I don't even use the thick cotton anymore. I actually use the cotton squares or the Firebolt cotton to actually wick, because to me, it's just way too much cotton. I understand the concept of it and having to keep that plate down and everything, but I did run this for 2 weeks. And in all the cases that I either used my cotton square or I used the Firebolt cotton, and I just changed out the coils. I was using the different mesh coils to see how that they, you know, they worked on it. I will tell you that out of all the coils, I did use the Wotofo, I used the off, I used the 2 that they came with. And out of all of them, I want to say that the off ones to me are my favorite, which is funny because with the profile RTA, the Wotofo coils were my favorite. But with the RTA, I really like the off coils on this, and also the wicking method that I use. So to me, I just feel like it's just way, I don't know, it's just too thick of a cotton. It's very similar to the Wotofo. It feels just like the Wotofo, and they do have it separately. It's easier to actually put through because it's nice and thick and everything. I just feel like it's just a little bit too much cotton. Now, that's going to lead me to another, it would be probably a subjective con. I don't recommend a mesh RTA for new beginners. Not unless you've actually researched it and you've watched and you practice. Because if you do bend your coil at all, the slightest bit, you're going to burn it and you're going to get a really, really bad burn hit. It can even possibly, you know, like really burn your cotton. So you want to be careful with that. Second thing is the wicking. If you put too much, you're going to get a dry hit. If you put too little, you're going to get like a flooding feeling. Being that it is top airflow, you're not going to get it leaking, but it is going to have like that gurgling and things like that if you don't wick it correctly. So I just want to put that warning out there. I will help, of course, all the new vapors that, you know, that follow me, that ask me, or, you know, need my advice. Of course, I'm going to help you out. But just, you know, for my recommendation, I wouldn't definitely recommend this as being like a first RTA for anybody, just because of that. The mesh, it could be finicky if you bend it even the slightest and you don't see it. So you want to make sure that you're rounding it off with that stick that they provided you, and you're just putting it in, tapping it in, and do not press down on the middle, because if you bend it even the slightest bit, you're going to make it burn. But just hold it on the side, and it's a very light hold. It's basically just keeping it in place. You're not holding it anywhere. So I think that that's really important. My pros on this, I'm going to have to say, is flavor. No matter which coil that I was using, I was getting really, really good flavor. The cloud production, another thing, really, really great clouds. And I do love the fact that you can screw the tank on without having to release the deck from your mod. That to me is a huge, huge pro. Another thing is that the spring clamps, I do like that, because I feel like those clamps where it goes in is actually securing your coil from moving left or right. So you're not having to like hold it in place when you're screwing it down for it to move freely. So I think that that clamp style was a really, really good idea. Another one is the big wicking channels. I love those wicking channels. I think that it makes it so much easier to actually wick up, in my opinion. Not that the profile was too hard for me, as long as you cut it exactly how they had instructed you to. I think that that's great. It's just that it was just so much cotton. It was so thick. That's why I actually switched over to like the cotton squares for my profile, or my Firebolt cotton. It just makes it a little bit better, in my opinion. Another thing is two variances of the mesh coils. They don't just give you a couple of the same, they actually give you two variations of the mesh coils. So you can use the 0.2 ohm, you can use the 0.15 ohm, whichever ones that you want, you can actually use them. So I definitely think that that is a pro. The airflow, the top airflow, I don't think it's got a slight bit more airflow than the Profile Unity, in my opinion. I hate saying that, but it's true. It does have the top airflow, which sometimes people would really, really like, because they like top airflow. It's almost leak resistant. But I do like the airflow in this. The Profile RTA is still one of my favorite RTAs, but you know, this is a very close second. I won't lie to you. Another thing, I love that they included a bubble glass. I know on the Profile RTA that they didn't want to do it for looks and things like that. I really wish the Profile RTA had the bubble glass. I think that it would have even made it that much better. But I do like the fact that they included a bubble glass on this. So that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. The deck, again, it is a similar deck. It was actually, I guess, inspired, or it's considered to be a Profile Unity type of deck. I don't know what the wording is. I'm not here to give any judgment either way. I'm just here to give you my opinions on the devices and the atomizers that I'm using, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. It is on my Voopoo Alpha Zip, and I love this mod. I absolutely love this mod. So yeah, so that's it for my review, and I will see you in the next one.